Hey there, everyone. Storm Teammate Meteorologist Ashley Baylor here in the News 8 Now Stream Center. We are halfway through the weekend today. Another steamy day out there. We have a heat advisory that is up for the entire state. At this time yesterday, Litchfield County was left out of the mix, but earlier today, Litchfield County also went under that advisory because we're all going to be sweating it out, not only today, but through tomorrow, as well as heat indices are going to surge into the upper 90s or even low 100s. I mean, by the time we got to noon today, we already had the heat index around 100 in New Haven, Meriden, Chester, Lisbon. So we're going to keep going through tomorrow. Now, temperature-wise, we're up to 93 degrees in Windsor Locks. We hit 90 yesterday, so if we can just make it to 90 degrees tomorrow, it will be an official heat wave. It is 91 in Hartford. We're even at 90 here in New Haven. If you wanted to cool off-ish, it's 81 degrees in New London. And I only say that because the dew point is 79 in New London. So it is beyond tropical at this point. It is just sweaty, tropical, oppressive. I don't know, choose your adjective here. Dew points are well into the 70s across the state. So when you take those temperatures and factor in those dew points, you get the heat index. So this is what it actually feels like when you step out the door. And well, New Haven coming in, top dog here, feels like 103. It feels like 100 in Waterbury, feels like 100 in Chester, 99 in Windsor Locks, and 98 degrees in Hartford. Whew, all right. So here's a look at our satellite and radar composite where we are actually seeing an isolated shower pop up across southern Litchfield County, so pretty close to the Southbury-Waterbury area. But here's the thing. I think most of us are going to stay dry as we head into this afternoon. And, you know, you might get tagged with a quick rain shower. It's not overly likely, but I guess we won't rule out the possibility. But since it's feeling tropical, since we're getting some pop-up showers and thunderstorms, I thought we'd take a little dive to the south, down to Florida. Let me bring in our intern, Matt Reardon here. So Matt, I know I told you this guys before, he goes to the University of Miami. So one would hope if you go to Miami, you have some interest in tropical activity.
I definitely do.
Yeah, so you and I have been talking about what is known as Invest 93L. So 93, obviously, which storm we're looking at, but it has an L attached to it because it's in the Atlantic. So that's how we differentiate between the Pacific and the Atlantic. So we've been watching this, and originally we saw the area of low pressure that was building off the east coast of Florida and looked across central Florida. So the big question here was it going to, A, be able to maintain strength and get into the Gulf to strengthen even more into a tropical depression or tropical storm? But I'm going to switch over because I would love for you to tell the folks it's not what's happening here.
So, yeah, we expected initially a few days ago, the NHC gave it a 40% chance of development, and it also had the track much further south than what happened in reality. So we have, at the low levels, a high-pressure system that's really trying to push it north. But in the upper levels, we have winds that are pushing all the convection and thunderstorm activity out to sea right now. So the storm is being very sheared, and it ended up going much further north and is staying over land, whereas we initially thought it might have gone over the Gulf. So it's going to be a very tricky situation whether or not it can strengthen because, as some of you may know or not know, you need some very soupy, warm water to kind of get these systems to get going, and that's not going to happen over land. So as you can see, it's the low-level center is right now right around Panama City, and it's just sitting over land. It still looks like it's going north right now, and all the thunderstorm activity you can see is just over water. And so the main threat with this, I think, as we go forward is definitely going to be convection for people on the Gulf Coast. I'm not convinced that it's going to really continue to try and form, but the NHC still does have that 40% chance in case it does pop back over water.
I don't see a great chance of it. I mean, especially the fact that you can see it is starting to nudge its way to the north. So for those at home that don't know, when these storms move onshore, when they get any sort of friction with the land, they just can't stack up. They can't build. They can't strengthen. And same when it comes to wind shear. You know, wind shear We don't want to see it when storms are developing because it literally shears the storm apart. It just can't develop anymore. So that's what's going on here. That's what Matt was talking about. It's just there's no way for this storm to really get out in the open water, feed off of that super warm water, and essentially develop more, which of course is a good thing. I always say, and you put this on my gravestone one day, is that we want to root for people. We don't want to root for storms because we don't want to see any destruction happen down there. Obviously, the Gulf, they've been hit many, many times over, whether it's a tropical depression, tropical storm, or a Category 5 hurricane, and a little bit of everything in between. So yeah, they're going to be getting some rainfall, some bouts of heavy rain down there, but I think they're going to be able to steer clear of any further development when it comes to this system. So definitely flying the W with that one. All right, thanks, Matt. We love your insight. All right, so let's take a look at what's going on back closer to home. And again, as I mentioned, we have this one little isolated shower that as quickly as it bubbles up, it kind of fizzles out near Southbury and Waterbury. Here's a look in Hartford where we have these big puffy fair weather cumulus clouds, and sometimes you can almost see there, it gets that dark gray base like it wants to squeeze out a quick shower on you, but it doesn't necessarily. Here's a look in Long Wharf where we are at 90 degrees. 5 o'clock, heading into the overnight hours, you can see more clouds are gradually going to move in. So we're looking at mainly cloudy skies overnight. The humidity is going to stay high, so you definitely want to keep those fans and air conditioners going. Tomorrow, definitely going to see more clouds than sunshine, but I will say our models are not in the best agreement here. We do have a cold front that will eventually come through, so along the frontal boundary, we would expect some showers and thunderstorms to develop, but this particular computer model, not sold on that. It's sold on maybe a isolated shower here and there, but some of our other models, yeah, a little more bullish when it comes to seeing some showers and thunderstorms develop, and certainly some downpours with that. But either way, whether we get 1 or 2 thunder showers or we get 4, 5, 6, 7, I'm happy that we have a cold front coming through because that'll cool things down nicely going into Friday. So mostly cloudy, a spotty shower is possible tonight. Temperatures are only going to drop into the mid-70s. And then tomorrow, peaks of sunshine, isolated thunder showers, still in the realm of possibilities with highs back in the upper 80s to low 90s. But we get this nice whoosh of cooler, more comfortable air going into Friday as those dew points are going to come down into the 50s on Friday. You can certainly look forward to that. And it is going to stay nice and comfortable through Saturday. So the fact that we close out the weekend, kick off the weekend with nice conditions is a treat, especially for this time of year. Now, I wish we were going to get through the weekend perfectly dry. That will not be the case. We are, unfortunately, going to see showers and thunderstorms on Sunday, but once again, that will lead to pleasant conditions heading into Monday, Tuesday, and possibly even Wednesday of next week. Next week is looking mostly dry. Dew points are going to be hovering kind of around 60, 61, 62 degrees for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, so you might feel that hint of stickiness in the atmosphere, but not like today, Matt. Not like today, where you walk outside, you actually have trouble breathing. You just get hit with all of this hot air. That's what we say. It's the air you can wear. And I tell you right now, this air making me look heavy, making me look 20 pounds heavier than I actually am. So I am not here for it. All right. Thanks for taking us to the tropics, Matt.
Yeah.
You didn't have to go very far. Again, the tropical humidity is already here. All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.